Hi, welcome everybody. I'm glad you could join me. This is Deep Work Fast. This is a little bit different than anything we've ever done because a lot of you have basically said, I don't have time for another Zoom and I don't have time for another meeting. So we've had to look for ways to get you the tools that you need to do your own work, deep work fast. Here's my commitment to you. I'm going to drop a blog every Monday. Then on Wednesdays, we'll go live for 20 minutes or less. And then the video from this and maybe a little bit more will be on YouTube for free, totally accessible to everyone with links to any worksheets or things that go with this and the original blog. So you can actually see all the details because this is just going to be short and sweet. But again, if you don't know me, I'm Chris Grimm, and I really want to help people get through this weird time that we're in. And it seems, based on coaching, that all day, every day, I'm talking to people, either one-on-one or in groups, and everyone seems to have this general dissatisfaction. They're feeling like everything is changing. Things are probably not going to ever go back to pre-pandemic. Some people think that's good. Some people don't think that's good. But regardless, if you are feeling like you want to make your own change in relationships or work, I want to give you a tool to get that started. There's a lot of stuff on the internet. Some of it's good, some of it's crap. So I wanted to give you something that I know will really work. And in the spirit of Deep Work Fast, you might want to grab a pen and paper, or like I said, maybe plan to watch this video later or download the blog, which is, again, free on Medium or avi.me. Okay, so I want to talk about this. So just to baseline, if you are feeling dissatisfied, if you have that kind of nagging, like you want something to change, maybe you've been thinking about that change for a really long time, but now you feel like maybe it's not optional anymore. You can't sweep it under the rug. You can't just tolerate it, whatever it is. You're not alone. That's happening. Or I wouldn't be talking about it. So I want to give you 5 things to consider to help you get started and maybe make this a little less either overwhelming or push past the procrastination or whatever it is that might be holding you from doing what you think you need to do or whatever's bubbling up. Okay, so you might be a little surprised at these, but they are all really, really important. And the sequencing of this, I think it's important too. But if you feel like doing it out of this sequence, go you. Okay, so the first thing in considering how you might make change, whether it's big or small, is for you to take an inventory of what you really love. Now, I'm going to say something, I hope it's not offensive, but I'm talking about like love, like full fuck yes, like not kind of like it, not I do it, I kind of like it because my spouse likes it or I have to do it. I want you to really figure out the few things that you love, like it makes you feel yummy. Now I know there's some of you who are like, what are you talking about? So the reason this is important, if it's not obvious, is that most of us spend a lot of our life and work doing things that we don't actually love. Even though you might like your job or like your career or feel like you're really good at it, there's a lot of tasks and a lot of things that we all have to do. And I hear it from all of you all the time. And I think Zoom is sometimes for people is one of those where it takes energy from you, doesn't give you a lot of energy. Things that we love doing with people who we love doing them with actually give us energy back, right? They fill us up. There's different ways and different language people use to say that. But I want you to find the things that do fill you up, right? The things you love with a capital L. I'm being annoying on purpose because I want you to remember this. And when you're doing the exercise, I want you to push past your brain's need to rationalize things like, well, I love my job because it pays me a lot. No, you might actually hate your job even though it pays you a lot. What you love is that you actually get the resources you need to live your life. I want you to name the things that you love, like give you energy. I'll give you an example. I love going to live sporting events. I cannot watch the same game on TV or live stream. It's not the same. It doesn't give me the same juice. It doesn't provide the same experience. So the yummy part for me is being in a stadium with a lot of people, specifically with my kids, usually people I love, and feeling the energy of it. I can't really describe that because it's so real for me. But like I said, it's not the same watching those same sports. In fact, sometimes I don't care about the sports, to be honest with you. I care about the experience. I love that. Another thing I really, 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 really love is I love Maui and I love Hawaii. So what am I doing? I'm doing retreats there because I want to be there more. It's yummy. Okay, so enough of that. I think you get it, but a lot of people don't take time to make that inventory. So I want you to do that because I want you to know what fills you up. And again, don't write down things that are other people's. So just because your spouse likes to do something and you do it with them, the part that's probably filling you up is maybe the time with your spouse, not the actual thing. Whatever. Get your own story straight. So I want you to do that work. So what do I love? Love, 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 deep love. Okay. Second thing is, what do I value? So this is a little tricky because most people have been trained to think about our values as some kind of thing that's aspirational or like words, like I value diversity. You might. But I want you to get past the intellectual part of this and actually take an inventory of what you value. Like, how do you spend your time and your money? I know for some people, this is like, whoa, this is a reality check I didn't want. But it's important, right? So our values are demonstrated in our actions, not what we say. And so often in coaching, what I find is that when we do a values exercise, for instance, people can say, I value this, but they might not actually spend time doing it. They might not be able to prioritize that thing or that person. And they might be spending their time and money. This is important because we spend our money on a lot of things, but oftentimes the things we value and love get prioritized out, right? Our work and the things we have to do oftentimes take precedence. And then, like I was saying to you before, what happens is that by the time we get into coaching, if someone is deeply dissatisfied, I can usually figure out that they're spending more time, energy, and money on the things they feel like they have to do versus the things that they actually really like and value or love and value. And so we want to get that back, right? I want to help you reprioritize because chances are if you want to make change and you're not feeling great, you don't have enough of that love and the things you value in the way you're spending your time and your money. So I do want you to take some time and, like I said, do the love inventory, then do the values inventory. What do I value? What do I say I value? I value time with my children. Great. Now do the reality check. How much time, quality time, do you actually spend with your children? That's the reality check. Like, I say this is important to me, but I'm doing this over here. So you might have to change that, but don't do that yet. Just take the inventory and get super real with yourself, right? That's part of why this is deep work fast, is we're going to get through the BS and help you get to what is real and authentic as quickly as you can. Okay, the third thing I want you to think about, get ready, because for a lot of people, this is really hard, degree of difficulty 10. I want you to think about what legacy you want to leave when you die. Yeah, I need you to think about, I don't care how far away it is or how close it is. I need you to think about when you leave this life, what legacy do you want to leave? And I want you to push past the most obvious things. Most people say things like, I'm going to leave money to my kids. I'm going to leave a house or material items. I want you to think about the legacy as what you want to teach the people in your life, maybe your employees, maybe it's children, maybe you don't have any kids and it's just your partner, maybe it's the rest of your family. I don't care who. What legacy do you want to leave? How do you want people to talk about you when that's over? Now, I coach people. I know this is a difficult topic for a lot of people. Death is hard. Some people, it's super yucky and they don't want to talk about it at all. If you can't go all the way to the end of your life and think about the legacy you'll leave when you leave this life, then at least get to retirement or the time in your life where you're kind of winding it down, right? You're not probably going to be working as hard as you are now. For people who don't work in an actual paying job, but maybe you work in your home. I know that's work, by the way, my mom. You need to think about that too, right? Like, so in the back half, like, what is the legacy I want to leave? Like for me, I love to create experiences so that memories are going to live on that our family will send to the next generation, right? So I like to spend time with our kids vacationing. I like going places. I like taking them to live sporting events. Duh, I said that in the love part. Or visiting new places or eating new things. Because I believe that if I do that now and I continue to push that in my life and make it a priority in my life, that when I leave, I'm going to have taught other people that those things are good and fun. Now, whether they decide to put it in their life or not, that's actually not my business and it's not yours. Like trying to manage everybody from the grave. Really? That's not the point, right? The point is establishing a legacy that gives back, that maybe leaves a positive impact. So along with those live sporting events and all that really good food, I also volunteer a lot and I try to bring my kids into those experiences sometimes, or at least make them aware of what it is and the impact so that hopefully they'll find their thing and they'll want to leave a legacy of impact, a broader impact. Anyway, forget about me. I want you to think about your legacy. And that third thing is really important. And I'll just say this for all of you who are thinking about from a career standpoint, like you weren't here today listening to me for life coaching or whatever. You're going to know I'm kind of holistic. I have a hard time staying right at work all the time because work is a part of our life. Anyway, back to the thing. So legacy matters in the work context because I believe every job we take, whether you're independent or you work for a big company, should be on your path, like a stepping stone to your legacy. And so oftentimes, if there's people watching who I coach, I can't see everybody on every platform, but they would tell you that in coaching, this number 3 thing is a big part of it, where I say, okay, in the end, what legacy you're leaving, let's work backwards. Let's make sure that you're having day-to-day experiences in your work life, in your career, in your side hustle, in whatever you are doing as a vocation. And the other things that you do are all getting you to the end goal, which is the legacy that you're going to leave, the impact, right? Okay, that's number 3. Now, you have to do this in sequence, I think, because the number 4 thing is thinking about how you measure success. And I believe that in the pandemic, a lot of things changed. And for a lot of people, their metrics of success changed, right? For some people, flying around, looking a certain way, going to conferences or going into an office was the way they used to function. You might be one of those people. I did a lot of that. Then we had a few years where we didn't do that. And so we kind of reevaluated the way things work, our relationships with people, etc. I probably don't have to tell you that. You've lived it. And so now it might be time for you to reevaluate success. Like, what does success need to feel like for me now versus what it was before? And I'm finding in a lot of coaching engagements, this is where people haven't done some real thinking. Like they've just tried to move back to what was normal before. And even though it's not feeling the same way, they're not pausing to reevaluate. Or what you might be doing when you think about success is you might be thinking about success in old ways, and then you're stuck feeling like, oh, that's not going to work now. I can't be successful. I'll give you a really quick example of that. I'm coaching someone who's the head of sales for a really big company. That company used to do all of their biz dev and sales in person. They flew people around to go to meetings, to make presentations, to do demos, etc. And they prided themselves on doing big deals in person. Now, while some of that has come back, in their company, it's not all coming back. Their travel budgets have been cut. Their customers don't even want it to be the same way, right? So they've had to rethink what success for the biz dev and salespeople looks and feels like in a pretty micro level. And so for that leader, right, they're going, wait a minute, I did it that way for 30 years. Now what? Well, the now what is, how can you feel successful in the new world? There may be some things to unlearn, there may be things to relearn, but you can't know that until you redefine success for yourself. So don't skip that spot or that step, and don't use other people's opinion to be your success metrics. It's really, really important that, again, you go, what do I love? What gives me energy? What do I value? How do I want to spend my time? Who do I want to spend my time with? What do I want to do? What gives me that juice, right? And then on what path am I on? What legacy do I want to lead? And does that actually mean something to me right now in the decisions I'm making about my relationships and my work? And then how am I going to measure success in that new framework? And then the last thing I want to leave you with is what change can you make? Now, for some of you, this could be the triggering part of this because maybe you don't like change. And I will say you would not be alone. One of the things I've learned about us as humans is that we change a lot of things and a lot of things change, but most of us don't actually love it, right? Like we actually want our little bubble to feel secure and safe and predictable, which is why oftentimes we stay in situations, relationships, and work that aren't great anymore, but it's a comfort zone and we can put up with it and we know who the devils are. So we stay there. We stay there a long time, sometimes forever, right? And what's happening right now is it seems like a lot of people aren't able to tolerate the things they were able to stay with before. You might be one of those people. I'm guessing that you probably are in some way, in some part of your life. So, if that's the case, this last thing is really important. I don't want you to go through all these exercises. Deep work fast isn't like deep work recklessly. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm saying to you, deep work fast means you being intentional. So, you going through the things I've just described, is meant to be a thoughtful, reflective exercise for you alone before you share it with anyone else. I know that you can do this. You don't really need a therapist or a coach to think about these things. You might need someone else to help process what comes out. So let me just say that there are amazing coaches and therapists, a ton of them. So I know you can find someone if in fact you need that. I would caution you that if you're going through the exercise and you're doing the work, right? You read my blog, you maybe watched this video a few times, and you're thinking about what do I love? What do I value? How do I spend my time and money? What legacy do I want to leave? What are my new metrics for success? And then you're thinking about what can I change? You might need someone objective. Note that I said that, not your kids, not your spouse, not your girlfriend or boyfriend, not your boss. Maybe it's even some of your coworkers who you work with for a long time. They're probably not unbiased. They're probably not completely objective. So they can't really hear you talk about this in a way that's going to help them help you maybe make the shifts you need, which is that last thing. I call them micro shifts. I don't want you to make big, swinging, massive change immediately. I want you to think about the things that you could shift. I call them micro shifts because sometimes it's just a little change. Like some people say like get up early in the morning and exercise. Well, if that's one of the things you decided to make a priority because it fills you up and you feel great doing it, awesome, do that. But you don't have to go and sign up for something super extreme that's going to be massively disruptive to your life and to things. So we're at our 20 minutes. I am thrilled that you joined me today. Like I said, all of this is written in a longer blog post on Medium and Avi.me. You can read it. You can watch this video starting on Friday on YouTube. And I'm really excited to be here. Pass this on to anyone. I've been coaching people a long time. I'm super excited to make this accessible to people in these little bite-sized chunks. Deep work fast. It'll be here, Facebook, Instagram, and who knows, maybe other places. Okay, bye. Go do the work. Go. Love, value, legacy, success metrics, little changes. Go. Bye.